And hello, welcome to Birmingham New Street. We have something a bit special today. If you're a PC user, you may well be used to the timetable mod for TSW5 and 06 for the West Coast Mainline South route, based on the winter timetable of 2019, created by Josh from OTS Simulation. Well, now he's turned his attention to the cross-city route, and we have a sneak preview of this up-and-coming mod. Many thanks for Josh in allowing us this. And here is a selection of some of the locos and units that it will be possible to drive on this brand new timetable mod for the cross-city line. Just to stress, this is the cross-city route and not to be confused with the up-and-coming Crewe to Birmingham New Street route. I'm also massively looking forward to that. We'll take a Voyager run in this new timetable, but let's start off by seeing just how busy Birmingham New Street can be. Well, straight away we see two cross-city 323s in action. And you can see a 350 there. And certainly the Voyager is very much in evidence. We've got a 170 Voyager as well. We've got a Glasgow Central service coming in, due to depart in about 11 minutes time. This is in that ghost-like livery that we talked about. All the proper stopping patterns are on here as well, so it's calling Salmon and Dudley, Wolverhampton Crewe, Warrington Banquet, Wigan Northwestern, Preston, Lancaster, Oxenholme for the Lake District, Carlisle and Glasgow Central. We've got a 170 one in cross country going on a Nottingham service. That's due off in about 10 or 11 minutes, but again it kind of gives you the flavour. There's a 170 coming in. Oh, that's what's leaving us. We've got that Euston service going. Thought I could hear something going up. And of course, the rotunda. We're going to see the Voyager leave. That's due off in a few seconds. And if you're kind of looking geographically, you might think for the minute why... Oh, there you go, it's got the right destination on now. Why is this Penzance service look as though it's heading northbound, but of course it's branching off, so it'll go towards the cross-city line out towards Bromsgrove and then down to Cheltenham Spa, so it'll be very quickly heading in a southerly direction. Great to see the Voyager at New Street. There we go, got another 323 arriving in, so this will be on a cross-city service. And I've mentioned this before, but it's such a contrast compared with that's going off to Four Oaks, but compared with the route that came out a few years ago now, when it was just the cross-city route and we just had the 323, there was just nothing going on at New Street. And yeah, you can just see the head of the driver there. Here it is pulling off. It's 10 mile an hour, I think, out of Birmingham New Street initially. There you go, you've got a 323 leaving us as well on a cross-city working. Well, we are south of Bromsgrove and we have been given the nod now to get going. So we are the 7:35 as things stand into Birmingham New Street. We're actually non-stop from here till Birmingham New Street, and we'll kind of imagine we've just had a momentary stop very briefly. Just 30 miles away from Birmingham New Street, so only about a 20-minute ride. The overhead line electric coming into effect from here on into our journey into Birmingham New Street. So this is Bromsgrove Station. And we are now going to negotiate the very, very famous Licky Incline. Now, it's renowned as the steepest railway incline in Great Britain, at least in terms of continuous railway anyway, and it's a climb of 1 in 37, which in railway terms is quite a challenge. It's for 2 miles between Bromsgrove and Bark Green. This section opened in 1840. Now, it's been electrified since 2016, so needless to say, the EMUs, whether it be a 323 or a 350, would negotiate this climb with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Having said that, there is a rule in place that when you're operating one of these Voyager Class 220s, it must be the case that at least half of the engines are in proper working order. I think the issue being that if they weren't, you would really struggle to make this climb. Now, in terms of passenger services, banking has always been a thing. Up until 1988 that stopped, and used to have the sight of things like Class 47s coming out the back of the train, pushing it up the hill effectively and helping. But it is still needed on freight workings, I believe, so I think I'm right in saying Class 66s actually do that job sometimes. I think there's something magical about being on the train early in the morning. It's absolutely gorgeous. But assuming that the physics and the way that the train works in terms of Train Sim World, then we are certainly getting up this hill with no problem whatsoever. Well, actually now we're past it, aren't we? So we're coming towards Bark Green now. Have we actually passed the junction? No, this is Bark Green. You can see here that's the branch to Redditch off to the right. So the climb ended just before, but even before that it wasn't a massive problem actually negotiating the climb. So that was the famous Licky Incline, much talked about in railway circles, and you just imagine the difficulties back in steep days and the fireman having to really work hard and earn his corn, I'm sure. Of course, we are driving the Class 220 Voyager, which is new to Train Sim World 6, and it's a separate add-on, but at the moment works extensively with the Riviera line as the game came out. But there's an absolute multitude of scenarios available to drive on this timetable mod as well once this is released. Not released as I'm recording this anyway. But these Class 220s were actually built in Belgium by Bombardier and introduced in 2001. Have a lightweight bogie design, 34 of them built in a 4-car set, and of course they often work in conjunction with Class 221s, top speed of 125 miles per hour, although we're not going to get up to that speed in the 7 miles to Birmingham New Street. I wrote down all the stations actually in the order because of course we are going right the way through to Birmingham New Street non-stop. This is ultimately a Glasgow Central service. But as well as having this ability of driving these Voyagers, there's a 170 cross-country working going the other way. That's probably going to Cardiff. That's a sort of a key corridor of Nottingham to Cardiff working. So via Derby, Birmingham New Street, and then they come this way too. Whereas the Voyagers will branch off towards Bristol and the West Country. The Cardiff workings will sort of diverge before that and go towards Cardiff, a Newport. So we need to get some brakes on here actually, because we are down to 45 miles an hour pretty quickly. Oh, you saw the RHTT set as well on the Class 66. Might just give that a bit of a run as well before the end of this video. But the beauty of this timetable mod is that it just adds so much variety, and there's so many different services that you can operate, so many different types of traction. Our interesting here, we've got double yellow the signals. Interesting, isn't it? We've had that 4-track main line, and then suddenly we're enclosed inside a very, very tightly packed area with just 2 carriages. You actually have the avoiding lines of Birmingham New Street as well via the Camp Hill lines, and as I showed in that Goblin line scenario, they are actually drivable. But oh, this is Bourneville, of course. But the scenery isn't fully done throughout. That would be lovely to get that finished up, wouldn't it? Just to make this even more of a enterprising route. I mean, if there's no plans from DTG to actually finish off the Camp Hill lines, it would be really good if that could be actually finished off and released as some sort of mod at some point. I don't know whether that's even a possibility. Right, so single yellow, but you can see with the guide in the top right hand corner the next signal's a little bit of a way off. This is University. Just see, can't you, with those impressive overbridges and just how much these stations have been upgraded over the last few years. And we're now going to go alongside the canal. More of that in terms of this Crewe Birmingham route coming out. So I did get a glance at the yellow signal in advance. There we go, it's changed up to double yellow, so you got quite an advanced view of that. Again, these autumnal colours, I think particularly early in the morning like this, really do look so spectacular. Now, I've mentioned this many times before, but in terms of being a driver, you really do have to have such great powers of concentration, because you can have a sequence like this of yellow signals where suddenly it changes from being yellow, and then you have to be always conscious and remembering in your mind that the next signal could be a red. It'd be so easy to be creeping along and kind of forgetting, because you could literally have 20 minutes, half an hour of continuous almost signals like this. And also the next signal is on a bend as well, so we should hopefully get a repeater. That indicates we're okay, I think. Yeah, I think that's okay, because if it was horizontal and across us, a bit like a no entry sign, I always think, then that indicates that the approaching signal is going to be red. I'm always slightly skeptical about TSW markers like that, because I've got a suspicion on the North London line it's slightly on the broke side. Yeah, those repeaters are so handy when you're creeping around these corners and you just have no idea what the next signal's going to be. But of course, we do have to be very conscious that that last signal was single yellow, so there is a chance that we could still be held before we get into New Street. And again, that will be a very common occurrence in real life. We are okay. We're actually on double yellow, so it's just a question of getting the 10 mile an hour just right.
Birmingham New Street.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
Ah, superb. I was not expecting that announcements. That's magnificent. I think the 10 mile an hour is just literally beyond the tunnel, which kind of signifies our entrance. You can see it there, can't you? But even then, you just have to be a little bit on the careful side, because we are still going downhill. very, very slow arrival into New Street. And then again, you've got a 323 pulling out, you've got another Voyager, you've got a 170 over there. There's bound to be a Pendolino knocking about as well. And even within the station, you've got a yellow there, so you have platforms split with more than one train being possible to be held in the platform. So this timetable is going to provide many, many hours of enjoyment and excitement in terms of operations on this cross-city line, taking full advantage of every inch of it in different ways.
This is Birmingham New Street. This is a cross-country service to Glasgow Central. The next station is Tamworth.
Just to show us Tamworth, Burton-on-Trent, Derby, Chesterfield, Sheffield. Make out, what is that? Meadowhall. Oh, Wakefield Westgate, Leeds, York, Darlington, Derby. Our drivers come in to replace us for the next part of the journey. Now, I'm not going to do this run in today's video, but just a quick look at it. I'll perhaps do one of these runs, I think with the Mateys in one of the live streams, but I love how you can get this dirty variant. It really, really does capture it. And this is the railhead treatment train, and again, love the dirt that's on the wagons. And I have given it a quick go, and it's so much easier and quicker to drive than a conventional freight train because it's light, and you've got another 66 on the back as well. We've got a Voyager coming in as well. We've got a 323 departing. Sounds about right. So here we are in the Class 150 Transport for Wales, and this started off as the 0422 from Chester through to Birmingham New Street, and you certainly have to have some stamina, don't you, to be on this, I would have thought. Just imagine being on the 0422 every day. And we're just waiting for a green signal. We're just about going to come towards Aston. Of course, the 150 layering in from the Cardiff City network. Morning 170 going the other way. It's only a short little stretch, just about 2.5 miles, only a few minutes into New Street, but I thought a nice little service to end this particular video. So we're 45 coming up, and then just beyond the station we are 30, so a bit early in the morning to be sounding the horn, really. So again, a massive shout out and thank you to Josh from OTS, and I know he's been a regular in our live streams over the last few weeks, so I really enjoy his company as well, and he's provided myself and Amaze Tays with this little early preview, and it's partly about bug testing as well, because I think he's not 100% sure that all of it's absolutely perfect yet, but hopefully it will be released very, very soon. It should be, I think anyway. It's going to be out on the Train Sim community website, and if you've not got it and you have got a PC, I would highly recommend his West Coast Mainline South timetable as well, because that's set in the 2019 era, and again absolutely jam-packed, and you've only have to have a look at some of the freight runs that we've done, as well as some of the other bits and bobs as well on the streams with the Virgin services, just to know that they are very, very entertaining. There's one run I remember, I mean, I didn't actually do a very good job in terms of driving it, but there was one particular Virgin Pendolino service where it's basically taking the slow lines virtually all the way through, I think, to Watford Junction, and again I presume it's for route learning reasons, because it can happen occasionally in real life. This is Proof House Junction. I think this is a service involving this unit, and there's one involving the 153 as well, or there might be more. I'm trying to remember actually now. But anyway, when you get the chance, you'll have a good look at all the timetables. But there's an absolute myriad of wonderful services to operate, and plenty and plenty of hours and hours of enjoyment. And of course, the centre of it all, Birmingham New Street. And we will be visiting it again as well very soon with the release of the Crew Birmingham route as well, so massively looking forward to that. There's so much going on in Train Sim World, and there's so much official stuff coming out, and then we've got loads of exciting modded stuff as well coming out. And for the best experience, you're always going to find that you'll get the full experience on the PC. There's probably not going to be masses in the station at this time of the morning, because it's the TSW6 is due to be our arrival, although there is a Pendolino in that ghostly livery to our right. So we've had that downhill climb all the way, and now we're a little bit uphill. There is also an enhancement mod available for the cross city line as well. Again, PC only, but that adds a lot of scenery and additional foliage, and I think if I remember rightly, Redditch Stations had some work done to it in the mod as well. The good news is that the vast majority of the mods, as far as I can gather, work absolutely fine for Train Sim World 6 as they did for Train Sim World 5. So there we go. That was nice, enjoyed that, and hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Again, big shout out and thank you for Josh for this little preview of this upcoming timetable mod for the cross city line for PC only users. Hopefully it will be out very, very soon. It's just all about testing at the moment because there are such a multitude of services available, but from what I've seen of it so far, absolutely fantastic. And thank you also for the huge amount of work that you've put in, Josh, to bring this into life. So if you get the chance, then join us on Sundays at 5 o'clock for our live stream, 4 hours of Train Sim World action. And if you haven't done so before, I'd be really grateful if you would consider liking and subscribing to the channel. So until next time, from Powerflower, Trains and Planes, for now, it's goodbye.